we can sit in a space where instead of that trauma just barreling through us and moving with us into the future, we start to pull it in and you can look at it objectively. Now, you know, in no way am I trying to like cheapen or placate the idea of trauma. That's not what I'm saying. It's not necessarily, I don't mean it's like, oh yeah, cool. You were beaten up by your dad every day when you were a kid. Yeah, you just put that in your hand and view it objectively. That's not what I mean. But eventually that's what I mean. Like unwinding and sitting with it makes the power of that narrative diminish. And as it diminishes, we see it more and more and more objectively. We get down to the root of what's causing that suffering. And then we can realize that we can either continue to lurch that forward with us in every subsequent moment, or we can finally unwind it and let it go. And that energy now can be directed into other avenues of our future. Dive into the practice until you get down that funnel and you arrive at a space where you don't need anything. You don't need the symbols. You don't need anything at all to exist. I always bring this up because it's such a perfect metaphor for Reiki. If there's any Star Wars fans listening, it's like go watch Empire Strikes Back and think about your Reiki practice. Go watch when Luke goes down and faces his inner demon and he cuts the head off of Darth Vader and then the face mask blows off and it's actually Luke Skywalker. Or at the very beginning of, or at the end of the first, the very first Star Wars, the old one, when he blows up the Death Star and he turns off the camera and he just trusts instead of relying on all of these other things. He's like, no, just use the force. So believe in that space. And the moment that you allow the suffering to exist, boom, there's the suffering. And if we start to attach meaning to it, which we're all very accustomed to, absolutely, then we have the big sticky problem of neuroplasticity. The more we stick on one belief system and one thought pattern, then the harder that becomes to unwind because more and more of our neurons are actually becoming exercised, as it were, to that belief system. So we have to move away from that and step into a space of just non-attachment and arising in the moment.